It's MiAsia Symone with Sweet Candor TV, where we highlight, enlighten, and change lives. And I am sitting here with the beautiful Miss Juliet Hall. She's a speaker, community advocate, and soon-to-be author. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for that intro.
Yeah, I tried. Before we get started, just explain a little bit about Sweet Candor TV and what we stand for. Now, we highlight lives. We're positive. We're a positive media outlet. And basically, our goal is to empower our audience and just continue to be positive in every aspect. And so I just want to thank you for, allowing us to highlight your life today and all the positive things that you have going on today.
My pleasure, MiAsia.
Now, a lot of people have a hard time finding their passion and purpose. How were you able to align yours?
Great question. It actually took some time because when I was in my early 20s and I had just graduated from Spelman College, I was actually still trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, as most people do, and it just took some time. But after a while, I really began to understand the things that I'm really good at, the things that I'm passionate about. Some of it made me think back to when I was in high school, things that I used to do. I used to speak in front of people a lot. I've always loved stories. I've loved to write. And I created opportunities for myself to leverage my own unique talents and my gifts. And I guess, what I discovered is when I'm in a space where I'm able to do the things that I love, the things that energize me, that's when I feel my most confident. It's when I feel my most strong, my strongest self. And so, I think if we just be true to ourselves and think about the things that bring us joy, that gives us energy, and create opportunities in that space, that's how you create that alignment.
See, that's amazing because it helps me. Like, I believe I'm still trying to figure out my purpose and my passion, and that helps a lot. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, and the other thing too, it was probably around 4 or 5 years ago, after being in a career that I actually enjoyed, consulting restaurant operators of million-dollar businesses. It did get to a point where while things were good, I still had to get spiritual and I had to ask the Lord. I just remember praying one time and just saying, God, okay, what is the vision that you have for my life? What is that plan and that purpose? Because I just don't want to exist. I want to live. And, I got to a place where I'm like, you know what? I know that the purpose, my reason for being on this earth, the divine purpose that I have is far greater than anything that I could ever imagine or hope for myself. And I wanted to live out God's vision for my life. So I just had to pray. And, it took some time, but the moment I began to surrender and open myself up to more divine possibilities, that's when doors started opening up for me and new opportunities came. My eyes began to open up to different things.
Define Black girl magic, and what do you expect to see from young women in the generation to come?
I don't know if there's anything magical. I would say that it's all about being authentic. If you can just be your authentic self, to thine own self be true. For the young people watching out there, just remember the play Hamlet. You probably have to read, and when you were in the 10th grade, it's a Shakespearean play, but it's a famous quote, to thine own self be true. And we have to be true to who we are. A good friend of mine once said that authenticity has no competition. So if you can be who you are created to be and don't compare yourself. See, a lot of people get into this trap of looking at what other people are doing, and you can't look to the left or to the right. What that person is good at isn't necessarily something that you're good at, but you've got to find out what it is that you were created to do and things that you're good at doing, and just be true to that and don't apologize for it. That's magical. Yes.
You're just a woman of many talents. I mean, you've had the opportunity to write stage plays and, travel the world. You're working on the book right now. Where does all this fearlessness come from, and who or what inspires you?
Let's see, fearlessness. So I think when I got to a place where I stopped trying to please other people, when I got to a place where I stopped trying to be like other people, and I just looked at myself and prayed to God, it goes back to the question of alignment, aligning your passion and your purpose. And I tell you what, when you're living out the things that you know that you're good at and you're exercising your talents, it is a great adrenaline rush.
Now, you've had a few challenges coming up as the third Black female business consultant for Chick-fil-A. What were those challenges, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, so I used to work for Chick-fil-A. I actually recently resigned after 17 years. And I like to tell people, I started when I was 5 years old. So, but I did start at a very young age when I worked at Chick-fil-A. And so I know what it's like to be the only one. I know what it's like to be the only person of color or the only woman in the room. And, there were some challenges. There were times when I didn't necessarily feel included because I was the only woman, or, I looked different than everyone else, or I was the youngest in the room. But I will tell you that it was important to me to have a good name. It was important to me to build relationships, and overcoming challenges when you are the only person, the only one, means that sometimes you have to step outside of your comfort zone and you have to reach out to others. They may not necessarily reach into you, so you've got to go that second mile and reach out to them. Build relationships, try to understand their point of view, and then be understood.
Thank you. I mean, I really hope y'all are out there listening to her right now. I'm learning so much today, which also led to you being voted, among the top 100 Black women of influence. I mean, how was your experience with that? How was that, dealing with that achievement?
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm so honored to be recognized 2 years in a row by the Atlanta Business League.
2014 and 15, right?
Yes. And just to be counted among other influential women in Atlanta. And so it was a great experience. It was something that I had to be nominated for. And so when you're doing good things, when you try to make yourself relevant, make yourself significant in the lives of others, when you're serving, people notice those good works. And so I'm very honored and privileged that someone thought enough of me to nominate me twice and to be bestowed that honor among other women of influence. So it's great, and I hope that I can continue to be a positive influence in the lives of others.
I take it on next year. Now, last thing, you said that it was something along the lines. You said you don't have to lie, steal, or cheat to make it to the top. Let your talent and your gifts, take you to the next level. Let's talk about that.
Absolutely. And that, honestly, I can't really take credit for that quote, because it's actually a proverb. And really what that speaks to is when you give yourself, when you give your best, and you can look at this a couple of ways. I mean, when you present a gift to someone, to anyone, it just opens the door for you to be included in larger circles. And I like to use that proverb in a sense of, think about the gifts that you were born with. Think about the talents that you have, things that are natural abilities that you were just born with, whether you are a great singer, a great dancer, a great baker, or that you're great with people. We all have our strengths, each and every one of us. And I believe that when we exercise those God-given strengths that we were born with, that it opens the door for more opportunities. In fact, opportunities will find you. So when you're operating from your strengths, when you're leveraging your gifts, you don't have to play politics. You don't have to try to schmooze people, because people will recognize the good works inside of you and they will want more of it. And I will say that, I think I'm a living testimony of that. One of the things that I love to do is I love to speak publicly. I love to use a stage for the purpose of encouraging and inspiring other people. And what I have learned is that when I give myself in that way, unselfishly, or selflessly, that more opportunities are created for me to do.
What's next? What do you have coming up? What can we look forward to from you?
So I am hopeful that there'll be more opportunities for me to take advantage of larger platforms of influence. I'm very much engaged in my community. I enjoy serving the different boards that I'm on. I'm a part of the Urban League of Greater Atlanta, the South Fulton Chamber of Commerce, the Atlanta Airport District Convention and Visitors Bureau, and a few others. And I just enjoy it. I enjoy using my time in a way that's going to create positive impact in the lives of others, as well as create economic development in our communities. And so, very passionate about that. As you mentioned earlier, I am a soon-to-be author. I am working on a book, and the book is going to be for women and young professionals and college students.
A must read.
Yeah, a must read. And what I hope the book will do for others is that they can maybe learn from my mistakes and vulnerabilities. We all make mistakes, and I try to be as vulnerable as I can so that people can see that, I'm a real person. We're all real people. And, and I just want to see people be the best versions of themselves. Yeah, so that's what I hope the book will do.
A lot of sense. And I'm definitely going to get it. So please, when the first batch comes out, please let me know.
Absolutely. Will do, MiAsia.
And you know what? Just congratulations on all of your success and your accomplishments over the years. And I just wish you the best on your future endeavors.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Great to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you.